All right, well, welcome and good afternoon to LA2M, our local Ann Arbor marketing, and just wanted to say that we have our organization put on marketing programs once a month on the second Tuesday or second Wednesday, whatever day it is. It's so cold out there. But we have a volunteer staff that helps us out, and there's several of us throughout the room, along with photographers and videographers. But I'd like to also say that we have sponsors, and that's one thing we really need to keep this going and present this great content that like we have Matt here for today. But one of our sponsors is University Credit Union. My company, BDB Marketing and Web Development, is another yearly sponsor. And we also have meeting sponsors that can also benefit. And part of the sponsorship is that we'll promote your company and your services throughout our media, so email marketing, our website, and so forth. So is there anything else I'm missing before I introduce Matt?
Well, as far as sponsorships, there's monthly sponsorship for $150.
Okay.
$500 for a yearly sponsor. We send 4 emails to how many people are in our email list? 1,200. On social media, you've got moments to get up and speak about your organization. You can bring handouts. It's a great way to support and advertise. So if you're interested in that, any of us will
And I assume you're all here, you all get the email. If not, then you can go to our website, put your name in to sign up for the emails.
Does everybody get our email, or is it on social media and sees our advertisements?
Oh, yes, social
promote?
media. Facebook.
Okay, all right, good.
Great.
Okay, well, we're gonna, since we have a lot of people in the room, we usually do networking at the end of it, so we're gonna start pretty quickly and have Matt come up here from Fangor Media, and he's gonna talk about, of course, Facebook and ad campaigns. So, Matt, come on up.
And I also want everybody to know that Matt is the new president of LA2M, and he is doing a fabulous job on helping us promote LA2M with social media.
Appreciate the applause. I haven't even said anything yet, so it's a good sign. Yeah, today we're going to be going over Facebook ad campaigns, but to start out, the obligatory 30-second About Me page, so you're going to have to suffer through that. That's not me, those are my dogs. That's Bowie and Callie. I really, really love dogs. Other things I love traveling. It's my girlfriend Shelby and I in Italy this past fall. I play a ton of soccer pretty much every night of the week. Most important thing to me is my family. And I currently run 2 marketing agencies, Fangor Media and Pet Engine Marketing. And as Stacy said, I am the president of LA2M. Truthfully, it is a group effort though, with amazing individuals like Carter, Roger, Stacy, Leah, Corey that make this whole thing happen. For my 2 agencies, I help clients with websites, video, social media. I do some email marketing, so that lunch email that you got from LA2M yesterday, that was for me. And I do some graphic design as well. On Facebook in particular, I've created dozens, if not hundreds, of ad campaigns for various clients in a bunch of different industries, such as automotive, the pet industry, youth sports, healthcare. Probably spent over $100,000 of my clients' money, all in all. So that's been fun. Today's agenda, I broke it down into 4 parts. Really, it's from top down, so large to small. Building campaigns with a purpose and setting it up for your goals. Using targeting tools that are available for you, and then ultimately creating ads and then optimizing them. So if you guys are ready, let's get going. But before that, I want to do a quick audience poll. How well do you think you understand Facebook Ad Manager right now? Are you more like my pugs on the right, or you don't really know what you're doing? Or are you more like this dachshund on the left that has it all figured out? So if you're like the pugs, can you raise your hand? Sweet. What about any dachshunds in here? A couple? Anyone in the middle?
Yeah.
Awesome. This talk is definitely meant for my pug friends and the people in the middle, but I also think some of the dachshunds will get something from it too. Why are you guys here today, specifically? Any burning questions that you want to ask? Awesome.
More in the middle.
Let's get more in the middle. Cool. What else?
Understanding.
No.
the big questions I have, that, I hear back and forth. If you're not already on Facebook and you don't already have a huge following, it really doesn't make sense to do it.
Totally disagree.
I believe it. Well, that's why I'm here, is to figure out how you do that.
Cool. So you were
I was going to say, understanding how to position your ad for a specific demographic, because we have a really, really specific group that we like to try to talk to, and then try to get more followers.
Cool. You are going to love this then. Most people in here are probably marketers or business owners or have something to do with marketing, right? For me, the big reason why this is important is because of how important Facebook is to modern marketing. 74% of people, 74% of Facebook users visit it daily. 68% of Americans have a Facebook, and the average daily user accesses it 8 times a day, right? It's pretty popular, and if you're into modern marketing, it's almost a necessary platform to be on. So to guide some questions when you're talking about building your campaigns, really you got to know what your goals are, why this is important for your business, and what do you want your audience to do. If you don't have the answer for these questions, you probably got to head back to the drawing board and get those figured out. Because if you don't know those answers, then you're going to struggle. You're going to waste money. So what is Facebook good for? When's the right time to advertise on Facebook? Let's get going. So this is the back end of Facebook Campaign Manager. This is Campaign Manager for one of my clients. As you can see, there's a bunch of active campaigns going. There's some completed ones. There's some ones that are off. Let's go into creating a new campaign.
Excuse me, Matt?
Yeah.
I don't know if we mentioned it or not. We already had one question if your presentation is going to be available. Since it's difficult to see.
Yeah, sorry guys. We are also in a different room this month, so I apologize for that. Normally we're in a room that has like 5 screens all up. This will be available. I'm going to send it out on next week's email blast, so sign up for our newsletter and you'll get it.
And do you mind just backing up one step further? How did you get to that view?
To this?
Yeah, how do you get to that view?
This is just in like your ad account manager.
Mm-hmm.
So up here, like campaigns, ad sets, and ads, that's kind of your navigation panel. And under campaigns, that's where we're at right now. So that just lists everything that you have going on at the moment.
Is that your website or the Amazon site?
This?
No, on the screen.
Oh.
Yeah, on the screen.
I'm not sure what you mean. What do you mean Amazon?
Meaning this is not internet connected right now?
Correct.
So you created your own ad management software?
No, this is just screenshots. Just screenshots.
Of software you created?
No, it's Facebook's backend ad manager.
I see.
Okay. Good to go? Sweet. All right, so going forward again, if we create a campaign, this is the screen that comes up. And the main things that you want to consider here right off the bat is campaign budget optimization. Normally this screen should be showing my mouse, so sorry about that. If you go into, your campaign objective, you can choose basically what your goal of the campaign is. It's broken into 3 categories: awareness, consideration, and conversion. Those are 3 different areas of your marketing funnel. The top category right there, awareness, for most small businesses, I really, really recommend that you don't spend any money there. That's typically for bigger brands that are fighting for, space on bigger stages. We're talking about like Nike, Apple, Pepsi, things like that. Realistically, if you're spending money in the awareness area, then you're just paying for really, really cheap impressions. And since the average consumer needs 7 to 10 impressions to actually remember what your brand is or what your message is, one single impression is a waste, right? So if you're going to spend money in brand awareness, you're technically going to have like a successful campaign, and that Facebook is going to serve impressions, but it's not going to do anything for your business. Does that make sense? Cool. For most smaller businesses, you definitely have to be focused on consideration and conversion. Your campaign objective should align with your campaign goals. So you've got something like traffic up there, which sends people to a website, or you've got app installs, mobile app installs. We've also got page likes if you want to grow your Facebook page, messages, event responses. So this is the goal of your campaign. This next tool, campaign budget optimization, right there. That's kind of a cool tool that Facebook has, and what it pretty much does is if you enable it, it's basically you telling Facebook that they can spend your budget in the most efficient and effective way based on like their results. It's almost always a good idea. Reason for that being is you'll get better results and you waste less money. An example of this would be is if you've got a campaign and you're targeting 2 different audience sets. Facebook could spend like 90% of your budget on one of those sets, one of those audiences, just to make sure that it's bringing you more results, which is pretty much what you would want, right? Last thing is the budget. That's obviously important. You can set it to be daily or monthly, and you don't want to set like a $10,000 daily budget when your monthly budget is $100, right? Luckily, none of this is set in stone, and you can turn it on and off whenever you want. From the campaign level, that's really all there is to it. It gets a little bit more complex the deeper we go in, but campaign is really broad, as a thing, Are there any quick questions about that? Sorry, you're doing it first.
What is your suggested budget on a monthly basis for somebody just starting out using the Facebook campaign?
Really depends. It depends on how much conversion gets you, right? Because you at least want to be breaking even, So kind of it's going to be different for every business and for every campaign goal. There are some campaigns where the goal is not even to make any money on it, right? The campaign is just to get word out about something or promote a product. And then there are other ways where you can monetize different conversions, right? Like if you get one email subscriber and that subscriber might buy a product 6 months down the line, then if you spent $60 to get one email subscriber, but that product is $600, then that's worth it, right? But it might not happen until 6 months down the line. Does that make sense?
Does the campaign, so you created a campaign, is that one piece of media, or is a campaign involve many pieces of media, many things that you're going to create?
Most of the time, many.
Right.
Many
You
things.
create the campaign first, and then you insert it to the campaign. Right.
Yeah. Thought I saw a couple other hands. No? Moving on? Okay, so my major takeaways for building a campaign is ultimately you have to know what you want to achieve with the campaign. And the thing is, if you screw that up, you can change it, but Facebook they're not going to reimburse you for making that mistake. Facebook makes most of its money, most of its revenue off of advertising, which means a few things. There's a lot of competition for ad placement, but they're always looking to improve their platform to make your campaigns more successful. So they want to make it easy on you, and they want to help you succeed on it. They also know that they have competition, right? There's paid search, there's other social media platforms, conversational marketing, all that stuff. If marketers start to feel like Facebook is not a great avenue for their budget, they will leave, right? Nobody feels sorry for Mark Zuckerberg right now. It's so, they're incentivized to make it easy and make it better for you guys. So we're going to move on to part 2, which is my favorite part and also the biggest section. It's on audience targeting. Guiding questions, again, you want to know who you're targeting. It's pretty critical that you understand who your customers are or what your intended audience is. And even more than that, you got to know what they're like online and what they do, what they like, what they're interested in, what they follow. All that stuff helps. The goal is to get as specific and as narrow as possible. So, I've titled this section Targeting with Tools with the with in parentheses because Facebook provides you with some tools that we're going to get into, but you as a business owner or you as an asset owner have things like a Facebook page or a customer list or a website, and leveraging these assets with the data that they collect is what's really going to dramatically improve your Facebook campaigns. Targeting in Facebook used to be a lot more different, due to the Cambridge Analytica stuff and the data privacy scandals. As of August 2018, they removed like 5,000 targeting options. They really had to draw like a delicate line between seeming sort of sorry about it and protecting people's data, but also remaining like a good platform for people to spend their money on. So kind of difficult for them, not that I feel bad for them. There's this really, really awesome infographic on WordStream that we're going to dig into a little bit, and don't worry, we're going to go through each section, but you can find this on WordStream, or if you sign up for our newsletter, I'll just send you this whole presentation. So just do that. First section of targeting is demographics. Demographics is pretty standard stuff. So as you can see, you can target by location, gender, age, but then it gets a little bit creepier, right? You can target by household income, you can target by work history or current industry or profession, education level, life events, parents, like how old your kids are, political views. If this is eye-opening to you, I guess it's kind of normal. It's kind of creepy how you can be targeted on Facebook, but don't worry because all of the other ad platforms are doing it too. So whatever, you know. Interest-based targeting. So you can do business and industry, entertainment, family and relationships, you know, hobbies and activities, sports and fashion, technology, page likes. So these are all broad categories, but when you start targeting by interest, you have thousands of different pages that like dogs. You know, you have thousands of different pages that are like, I'm a cat mom. You know, you've got thousands of pages that are car enthusiasts, right? So you're gonna have a ton of options inside the interest-based targeting. Yeah.
For page likes, does that mean that someone likes something that's similar to your product or service, like they will see your ad as well, or?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I think in interest targeting, when it talks about page likes, it's like if you like a page that is, let's say, about dogs, right? Then you get put into a bucket that's like, this person is interested in dogs broadly.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah.
Can you narrow it down to, like you could target people that like your competitors, so your ad would show up against, for those people that are...
You could. You could, especially if like one of your competitors has a specific Facebook page, and then what I would do for that is like put that geolocation like directly over their workplace with a really tight radius, so like 5 miles or less, to get those specific workers, and then make sure that your ad is like speaking to them specifically. We do something similar for one of my auto clients where they're trying to build a partnership with this big corporation, and so we focus ads just over that, like corporation's headquarters, and say, hey, we're a preferred partner for this corporation. So definitely doable.
Okay.
Behaviors. So behaviors are also pretty creepy online. Facebook is collecting a ton of your data, right? In here you got a whole bunch of stuff, like if you want to only target mobile users or only target Apple iPhone users, you can do that. If you want to search for business owners, there's a category for small business owners. And while you're at it, you might as well throw like Facebook page admins on there, because if you're a small business owner, you probably run that Facebook page. Facebook also knows what you're buying, right? They track what you're buying on Facebook Marketplace or its partners like Instagram. So they're going to take that purchase behavior and throw you into a category called engaged shoppers. So for something where it's like, if you're running a campaign for holiday shopping or Black Friday, something like that, and you have a good ad that you want to run, you might as well throw engaged shoppers into your targeting, right? That way you can try and bring in some more people into your funnel. Also, soccer has its own behavior category. It is the biggest sport in the world. Did you know that more than half of the world considers themselves soccer fans? It's pretty crazy. More than half of the world considers themselves soccer fans. Pretty cool. All right, so last area of targeting. This is connections and remarketing, and it's where Facebook experts, like what you guys are going to be, can get the most out of Facebook's tools and your own assets to get the best results. So these are, in my opinion, the best tools that you can leverage. Your assets are these things that are already listed here. So you've got your Facebook page, you've got your own apps if you have them. You have your events and everyone that either attends them or looks at them. You also have people that visited your website. You've got your email subscriber lists. You've got customer information like phone numbers. All of that stuff, that's data that more or less already, there's a gray line here, but more or less belongs to your company right now already. And you can use this data with Facebook's tools to get better results. My favorite tool right now that Facebook has to work with this is what's called a lookalike audience. So, does anyone know what those are? You know what a lookalike audience is? Would you mind explaining?
Pretty much you create a custom audience based off of maybe an email list, or you use our website page with people who interact with it, and then Facebook can create a lookalike audience of like 1 million to 10 million people who have the same interests or look alike like to the customers who have already interacted with your, page or your items.
That is a perfect explanation. Did everybody hear that?
What was that called again? I couldn't hear.
It's a lookalike audience. Did you guys hear that over there? Good? Yeah. So a lookalike audience is when you import customer data, like a subscriber list or data from a web page, Facebook will create an audience that is similar to those visitors or those customers that you imported based on the data that they already have collected on them. So similar based on behaviors, interests, and demographics. And basically you can use a lookalike audience to continue to expand your reach into people that, on paper would already be interested in what you're putting out there.
So you're giving Facebook all of that data? You're giving Facebook that spreadsheet or whatever?
Yep. They already have it. It's just not in one spot. What do you mean? The question was if you could do it by zip code, by the way.
We are only marketing people in Washington County.
Okay.
So we have a list of zip codes we use for other things. Just wondering if that's
You can, when you import data into Facebook, it's basically like a spreadsheet, right? And it'll say you want to match up first name, last name. You can also go as deep as like phone number, zip code, city. What they're trying to do is take that customer information and match it up with the data that they already have in like their system. That way you can serve that person an ad. If the person on your list is using like a different name or a different phone number or a different email address on Facebook, it won't be able to find them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean your like data is safe or anything. It's not. Okay, so I have an example for us, and basically I ran a short 1 week long campaign to get responses to this event on Facebook. Do you guys remember what campaign budget optimization is? I see some nods. Does anyone not remember what it is? We can go over it again. All right. If you have a question, just let me know. Basically, I ran ads to 2 different audiences for this event and figured we could look at some of the data. So here's the data for this week-long campaign. The first audience here on the left is titled LA2M mailing list plus the lookalike minus event responders. So what I did for that was I uploaded the LA2M subscriber list and I created a lookalike audience based on that, and then I subtracted from that audience the people that had already responded to the event. The reason for that being is you don't want to market to somebody that's already confirmed coming to the event, right? The second audience, the one on the right, was the LA2M mailing list, same thing, minus the event responders with no lookalike audience. So no expansion, tried to stay really narrow, right? The only variable that changed was that lookalike audience. So comparing some of this data, we can see what we've learned. The audience with the lookalike audience got more results, so Facebook spent more money on it through campaign budget optimization. But the cost per result, so the cost per attendee confirming, was $2.89. The other audience, the one without the lookalike audience, we got 6 results. Facebook spent less money on it, but the cost per result was only 94 cents. So it was a lot cheaper to get people to come based on that. It got 45% less responses, but the cost per result saved 68% of the cost. All in all, Facebook served about 2,000 impressions down there. Sorry, that's a little bit low. But served 2,000 impressions to about 1,000 people, with the total average cost per result being $2.20. What was the ticket price for this event? $6.50 or $5, right? So with a $2.20 cost per result, we did okay, didn't we?
Hey Matt,
Yeah.
how much did you set as your budget and how long did you run it?
I ran it for a week. Budget was $40. So 17 responses times $6.50 if they were all purchased online. I don't know what the math is, but it's more than $40. So we did okay, right? That's a successful campaign. But make my job easier. What could we have done better? Any ideas?
Typed in something about their industry.
True. We could have added some interest targeting. Yeah. We could have added like the fact that they might be into marketing or email marketing or digital marketing. Any of that.
Can you see what the ad looks like?
Yeah, we can get into that. It's coming.
Okay.
How do you know that there aren't overlaps between the 6 and the 11?
There might be. Actually, no. There isn't between that, but there are potential overlaps between Eventbrite and like a paid ticket versus just a confirmed attendance on Facebook. So there's a little bit of overlap.
But you know that those 17 people are 17 individuals.
Yeah, but they are different people.
And I'm sorry to back up for a second, but you said that you subtracted the audience that you've already knew, so that you didn't include the lookalike campaign. Did you physically have to do that? Did you have to check something off so that you aren't duplicating your audience? How did you?
So I think I understand your question. So are you asking how to create the audience without the lookalike in it? Or are you asking how to make it so that it doesn't collect those event responders?
I think that's
The second one? I'm going to get into that in ad creation in just a second.
Okay, sorry. Thank you.
No worries. Okay, so we're going to zoom back out for a second. That was like really all of the targeting options. Let's get back into Campaign Builder and go into ad set creation so I can show you what this all looks like. So when you are basically creating or building your ad sets, this is like one page. I broke it out into 3 areas, but this is the page that you're on. Since we are focusing technically on this ad set for a campaign that's whose objective is traffic, I can't go into every variation, right? I can't show you what it might look like for event responses or app installs or catalog sales. So this one's just focused on traffic. They're all broadly, structurally the same with like slightly different options. Up here, that's basically your traffic destination. So again, this campaign is set for website traffic, so we can set it for either website, but if you want it to go to Messenger or if you want it to go to a specific app, you just toggle it, right? Dynamic creative is another way that Facebook wants to help you guys out. So dynamic creative basically does A/B testing for your ads for you. If you enable it, Facebook will allow you to take different pieces of your ads, whether it's the text or the image or the call to action, or the description or the titles, all that stuff, and it'll rotate them around to find different combinations and then use the one that works the best. So if you don't know like what's going to work for your audience, dynamic creative is your friend. Again, Facebook wants to make this easy on you, right? They want you to spend money on their platform. Less work on your end though means less learning, so it's always beneficial to do it yourself. So if we go into audience, this is kind of what you were talking about, this area. So if you hit create new up here, that's where you're going to be able to upload your customer lists, your subscriber lists, your website traffic. That's going to create what's called a custom audience. And then from there, you can use that custom audience to create a lookalike audience. You just keep hitting create new.
So I'm not going to answer this question now, but I know that a lot of local business owners, marketing managers, like just love to hit the sponsor or boost. I'm sorry, boost.
Sure.
I'd love to hear you cover that, talk about that a little bit. You don't have to do that now. more of like a pros of approach this way versus.
For sure. I definitely thought about, I didn't feel like I could fit that into this presentation. So boosting is, over the past year, Facebook's made some changes. They're always making changes, by the way. Like, you might wake up one morning and things are completely different, and that's just how it is. Like, you just got to roll with it. Boosting a post is generally just going to be less in-depth than a campaign. You can use a saved audience on a boosted post, but you're not really going to be able to change like the connection type or the placements. It's a little bit more like quick and easy and dry. I wasn't going to go into that a ton, but I'm available for questions afterward for sure. Back to this, you've got your demographic targeting, location, age, gender, language, and the detailed targeting, that's where you go into like your interests and your behaviors and that kind of stuff. Down there with the connections, that is where you can either include or exclude event responders or people that like or don't like your Facebook page. So, for example, if you are running a campaign that's meant to build more Facebook likes, you can exclude people that already like your Facebook page. That way you're not marketing to them and wasting money on impressions there. Last thing that I really want to talk about is placement. This one gets overlooked a lot, but it's pretty important. So placement is basically where your ad is going to run. So there's a ton of different options. We're talking like Facebook newsfeed, the Facebook sidebar, Messenger, Instagram feed. There's a ton of different options, right? Now, Facebook is still going to try and make this easy for you and like automatically set for automatic placements. And Facebook will also optimize it so that your ads are running in the right places for the best results. But if you already know like some stuff about your audience, that say they don't use Instagram at all, or maybe they are mobile-only users, then you can change your placements to reflect that right off the bat. And that way you're not wasting time either in a learning phase or wasting money spending ads to people that aren't going to respond to it. Does that make sense?
Where do you select or enable your Facebook to do that? Is there an enable?
Yeah. So like inside edit placements, it'll open up like this whole list of different places where you can check on or check off different placements. And I actually have a screenshot of that right at the end of the presentation. So I'll make sure to point that out for you. Last thing, like you can optimize for landing page views and like link clicks or impressions, but if your goal is website traffic, then your best bet is landing page views because you want people to get your site. Make sense? Onward? Sweet. So my major takeaways for using your audience targeting, you really have to know your audience. It's critical, right? Or else you're going to waste time and waste money. So this customer avatar worksheet thing that I got is pretty helpful in putting yourself into the shoes of your customer. And again, this will be available. This whole presentation will be available if you sign up for a newsletter, so you'll be able to get that too. The other major takeaway is that this takes time and effort and testing and money, honestly. If you go too broad with your targeting, you're going to waste money and get some meaningless impressions. But if you get too narrow and too granular, you're going to exclude good prospects and you're not going to grow your audience well enough. Yeah, George.
So please dispel my thinking, destroy my belief if it's off, but what I'm looking for is to understand, so I assume that from a demographic standpoint, if I'm trying to reach an audience that's over 40, Facebook's probably one of my best bets. If I'm reaching under 35, that's Instagram. I'm just looking at those two social media platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you'd like to add to that, or change that around?
Well, sorta. 35-year-olds are still millennials, so they're still on Facebook. Numbers are decreasing a little bit, but it's really like whatever that generation coming up, Generation Z or whatever it is, they're the ones that have had a significant drop in Facebook usership. They're on other things like Snapchat and even TikTok and, I don't know, elsewhere, Twitter, right? You can, I would say, play with your placements a lot. If you think your customers are scrolling Instagram a lot, then focus your placements on Instagram, or create 2 different audiences, one that's only Instagram and one that's only Facebook, and see how they perform. You know? Yeah.
Forgive me if this is remedial, I apologize. If I have 2,500 contacts in my own campaign or from trade shows, whatever, and I go to email them, I get bounce backs, all that good stuff. I can actually download that campaigner into Facebook's ad. Can I export that to where that will actually export to the Facebook and their Facebook portion of it? If that makes sense?
I think I know what you're saying. So your email campaign platform, you can export those emails into like a Excel sheet, and then take that Excel sheet, upload it into Facebook, and Facebook will, with that data, try its hardest to match up what you've got with its users and create an audience that you can serve ads to.
Okay, thanks.
Hitting the sweet spot right there is obviously the goal, right? Like you want to be growing and building your audience while also making sure that the audience that you've got is getting you the best results and the best return on ad spend. Make sense? It's hard, right? It's hard. It can be difficult to find that sweet spot, but once you got it, it's pretty rewarding. This poor dog. All right, part 3, creating ads with like an emphasis on getting return on investment. Some guiding questions for you in making great ads is, will your ad influence or compel your audience to do what you want them to do? And ultimately, I think it's about speaking to your audience and speaking less about yourself or like your product. Like you got to find their need. Like, why is this product or your message or your ad, why is it important to them? Knowing that is going to help you build a really good, really effective ad. So back into Ad Manager, and this is basically your ad creation worksheet. And this is the actual ad that we ran for this event. These are basically your parts of the ad creation page. So your identity is where you choose your Facebook page that you want it to run from. So like I manage like 10 or 15 or 20 Facebook pages, so choosing that is pretty important. Your visual content is super important, right? Like the actual piece of your ad.
Yeah. Why don't you ask how many people came here because of that?
Okay. How many people came here because of a Facebook ad?
I remembered. You mean wanting to learn about it?
Sorry?
You mean wanting to learn about advertising?
Or about seeing this specific ad?
Sorry.
I think I counted like 7 or 8. 8 or 9?
Well, I saw it.
You saw it? Cool. Well, I'm glad you guys saw it. That means it's working, right? The content that you choose, basically your image and your visuals and your text, they got to convey your brand and your needs, or your product or your values. That's all under this media tab. So I just chose an image for this, but Facebook, again, is making this way easier on you guys. Facebook has options where you can create slideshows or carousels or like image-based videos. Video performs way better than images in general on Facebook and pretty much on every platform. So it's a good idea to use the tools that Facebook has built into it to make better ads. Easy doesn't necessarily mean good all the time. Easy Mac is an exception to that. But anyways, your primary text is what's going into your ad. And on this right-hand side, this is your navigation for how your ad looks for those different placements. So you have like how it looks on mobile, or how it looks on desktop, or how it looks in Messenger, or how it looks in Marketplace. So you can just click through these and see how it'll look every single time. My best advice for that particular thing is you should optimize your layout and look of your ad in mobile. Since 96% of Facebook users are accessing it on mobile, there's an overwhelming chance that your audience is going to see your ad while they're on their phone scrolling. So you want it to look its best when it's in a mobile setting. Does that make sense? Question?
So what size image do you have to use?
Kind of depends. There is like it's a 1 to 3 to 1 ratio, I think. But there's also, you can Google like Facebook image sizes and you'll find the information. I don't know exactly what it is off the top of my head.
They change so often.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. And like, if you're gonna be running ads just on Instagram, you're gonna want like a square-sized one, and it's gonna give you the option to crop it. But if you crop it for Instagram, or if you crop it for Facebook, and then it's going to Instagram and it's cropped incorrectly, then it's gonna look bad, right? So, again, nobody's on their computer looking at Instagram, or nobody's on their computer scrolling through Instagram. So, if you make your ad look as good as it can on mobile, then I think you're going to get the best results. Corey.
You have 3 minutes.
Oh, I have 3 minutes. Oh, no. Okay. That's it's all right. We are almost done. We are almost done. So other parts of ad creation are basically all these little pieces. So you've got your primary text that goes up at the top. The description and the headline go down all at the bottom. Description has some details in it that can improve your ad's relevancy score. And the reason that is important is your ad relevancy score is like Facebook's way of ranking how good your ad is when it's served to your audience. So the higher score you can get, the better it's going to perform on Facebook. Your call to action is, sorry, went too far there. So your call to action is basically what you want that button to say. There's a ton of different options. Shop now, learn more, get info, sign up, register, enroll today, whatever it is. The display link is not super duper important. It's a tiny little detail. But so like this button goes to like a specific inventory page for that Jeep. But I can change the display link to just be that dealership's main URL. That way it looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit more professional. And I think these little details improve your ad's relevancy score too. Last thing about tracking is basically your pixel. And who knows what a Facebook pixel is? Who doesn't know what a Facebook pixel is? Doesn't know. So a Facebook pixel is a snippet of code that you put on your website, and it helps you track people that go from Facebook to your website. So it helps you get data, optimize audiences, get better ads, that kind of thing. So my major takeaways for creating really good ads is that it really goes a little bit beyond just the technical details. You do have to get that stuff right. But I mean, what makes a good ad? You know, like the landscape has changed a lot, and Facebook is a crowded marketplace when it comes to ads. And it used to just be like, put your message in front of consumers, like a newspaper or a billboard, and see what happens, but it's not like that anymore. I think it's more about like saying the right thing in the right way, in the right place, at the right time, for the right person, right? Doing it right is always going to be more effective and better than doing it fast. And last thing, I think it's like, did you put like real thought and effort into that ad? Like, is it adding something for your audience? I mean, does it do something for them? Is it useful or entertaining or beautiful? Like, there's nothing wrong with trying to sell a product, but understanding the why and the need behind your product is going to help you create a great ad. And the world can actually benefit from great ads. It doesn't need more clutter, right? It doesn't need bad ads. Part 4, super short. Sorry, Corey. Optimize your campaigns for success. Your guiding questions, things like, how can I make this better? Or how can I get the same results and spend less money? So, A/B testing. Facebook wants to help you with this again, but this is an example where I did some A/B testing myself. So I ran a campaign for a pet trade show this past fall, and I used multiple different images with multiple different descriptions and multiple different calls to actions. So with all of those variables, you can quickly get like 10, 20, 40, 60 ads. Luckily, you don't have to make 60 ads individually. The duplicate feature is really efficient and really helpful. Another way to optimize and edit your ads would be affect your placements. So If you see that one of your ads is doing really well on mobile, maybe just put it in mobile. If you see it's just doing well on Instagram, maybe just put it in Instagram feeds. If you, I don't know, let's say like you only want to serve it to people that are getting off from work. Most of the time your ads are running 24/7 because it's based on who it's being served to at any time. But if you only want to concentrate it to people that are just getting off work, set the time limits between 4 and 8. Or if you alternatively want to set it for people that are supposed to be working, do it from 8 to 4. The best advice I have for optimizing your campaigns is to just pay attention to it. Don't set it and forget it. You'll be able to tell if it's doing something wrong, whether it's not spending or the conversion costs are huge or it's underperforming, or maybe your traffic to the site is having a super high bounce rate, meaning they leave immediately. That means your audience is bad. Main thing though is if you're paying attention, you're going to learn from it. And that is pretty much it. Thanks for laughing at my jokes and coming and not falling asleep. My cards are on the table, and if you have any questions, I'll be around here. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, so get in touch with Matt afterward here. You're still welcome to network, and along with contacting him, as I'm able to speak up, along with contacting him afterwards. So, yes, so now this brings us to the referral portion, and we always try to get out of here at 1. So we have quite a few people in here, so we're just going to ask if you can just introduce your name and your company, and we'll go around the room, and hopefully you'll be able to connect with somebody you realize what type of services they have. We apologize for that, but we have a great crowd. So maybe we can start at this table, and just speak up very loudly. I'll go ahead if you don't mind.
Okay. Hello, my name's Carrie Kafafian, and I started a nonprofit, homegrown community, looking for people interested in helping with housing for adults with disabilities.
My name is Jody McGlinch. I own a company. We developed a concrete light bulb base cover that goes over existing concrete light bulb bases that can be branded and advertised on. And we cover the ugly, I like to say. And protect, obviously. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bonnie McComb. I work for David Farrell Design Group. We're a small boutique architecture firm in Northwest Ann Arbor. And we can do houses all over.
Hi, I'm Gail Nicholas with GM Communications, which is a graphic design studio.
Hi, my name is Nate Chu. I work for Passive Bowl. We're a smart home technology company that creates smart home locks for passive entry into homes.
Leah McChesney, SCS Image Group. We are a branding company.
Celia Fallon. I have a yoga studio, Yoga Centric in Saline.
I'm Dr. Andrew. I own Pivotal Chiropractic here in Ann Arbor. I'm much different than the conventional chiropractors that focus on pain and reducing inflammation, stuff like that. So I focus on specific structural correction.
I'm Haley. I'm from the University of Michigan Credit Union. Hi, I'm Anna Britnell. I'm from Saline Area Schools. I oversee marketing and communication for our district and then community education, which is a huge revenue stream for our district.
Joe Taveri, Taveri Insurance Agency here in Ann Arbor.
Chuck Newman, WAVE, we all vote every time. Our mission is to get underrepresented communities to vote.
Hi, I'm Stacy. I've been with LA2M for years. I also have lots of hats. WXW is Women's Exchange, if you haven't heard about it, and today is their mingling party at 4 at Holmes Brewery. But normally they're just like LA2M once a month. They have a meeting that you pay and you get a lesson. This was wonderful. Thank you. I love this. And my real everyday job is I am the sales manager at Dollar Bill Printing. We're down on campus and we do digital printing, and we're known for being really fast and excellent customer service.
Daniel Ripken. I run communications at a small center in Michigan that's reproductive health training.
Hi, I'm Diane Crouch with Keller Williams Realty.
I'm Sydney Hardy and I'm with Q.
I'm Carrie Ashton, an independent bank. We do residential mortgages, can help you purchase a new house or refinance your existing home.
I'm Shannon Shizek, I'm marketing coordinator for Dreammaker Back Kitchen. We love ugly rooms.
Hi, I'm Gina Adams, and I'm the founder of a new startup called Wearology. We design accessories to help restore independence and empower people living with dexterity limitations and challenges.
I'm James Bertha. I'm in a wheelchair, so I can't stand up. I work with Gina at Wearology, and like she said, we design products for people with physical disabilities that fall into the realm of adaptive fashion to just adaptive everyday products to tools and such to help people get through their day.
Hi, I'm Mish Raymond. I own a company called The Hire Effect, and we train companies to hire for culture.
My name is George Pariso. My company is Brainstream Creative, and we make it easy for entrepreneurs and marketing teams to leverage video in their advertising and communication.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Karub, and I'm here with Your People. We're a media relations and marketing company, and we also specialize in branding and foundational content creation.
I'm Crystal Post. I work for All Star Mark.
I'm Jeff Bates. I'm with All-Star as well. We do commercial and residential, burglary, fire alarms, access control, camera systems, small businesses, small residential, or big businesses like you and credit unions are biggest.
Hi, I'm Emily McGuire. I'm the owner and chief email marketer of Flourish and Grit, an email marketing and automation studio. I create inbox experiences that turn gawkers into buyers.
I'm Maureen Riley. I'm the executive director of the Ann Arbor Street Art Fair, but we also produce the Tommy Street Party and the Dark Park.
Hi, Susan Harris. I am unaffiliated. I don't work.
Look at your card.
I'm Andy Samurai with the Sherwin-Williams Tea Company.
I'm Shelby Benzinger. I work in IT at
I'm Bob from Bob Fran Photography, and I do imaging for companies and corporations that need advertising.
I'm Steve Meyer. I also do I do it well.
Again, I'm Corey Dunham with BDB Marketing and Web Development, and we help people with their process and their implementation when they're stressed out and overwhelmed with all these different types of marketing pieces. So.
Carter Sherman from Studios. I'm a commercial editorial and portrait photographer, which covers almost everything. Some video, mainly editorial, drama piloting, particularly I shoot my running film, should
Well, I have one more thing before Roger goes. I just want to reiterate that this is not our normal room. And on a normal Wednesday there are parties, but we're normally in a room on the other side all by ourselves, so it's not like this. I know there's a lot of new people, so I don't want you not to come back because it was hard. And I promise we'll have Matt again because I do the scheduling, and we'll have him again, and we can get into more detail, and we can have a second lesson. How's that sound? Yeah. Okay, great, wonderful. Roger.
No, I'm fine.
You're good. Okay.
All right. No, I think that's pretty much it, except once again, just we're looking for sponsors, monthly sponsors and yearly sponsors, and just ask one of us and we can help you out with that. So other than that, you are...
Yeah, no, we have the room for like at least 5 to 20 more minutes, so feel free to hang out.
Or
Well, we gotta pay your
before we all get
bills.
up, well, we don't even have our bills yet, so do you guys want to ask?
Can't leave until you pay your bill.
Yeah, we should pay our bills, so instead of getting all up, why don't we ask that question? Oh, you don't have to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's ask that question after we go back out. Sure.
I have a question. So, nice to meet you. Work with you.